And we are live on the United Public Radio Network, 107.7 FM New Orleans and 105.3 FM on the Gulf Coast. How cool is that? And we are also being live streamed wherever podcasts live. So we're not hard to find, including my YouTube channel. So go there and subscribe. To all those above me that watch over me, to all of you, my fave parapeeps, fellow experiencers, and brothers and sisters in Christ, welcome. This is Father Shawn's Paranormal Ministry. I'm your host, Father Shawn Whittington. I'm an ordained Catholic priest with the United States Old Catholic Church. I'm a fully professed brother and abbot for the Old Catholic Benedictines of Immaculate Mary. I'm a team member with Society of St. Benedict and co-founder of GhostBeGone.biz. And yeah, I'm that guy on Eli Roth Presents the Legion of Exorcists on Travel Channel, HBO Max, and currently streaming everywhere if you haven't caught it yet. I'm happy to report the show is enjoying quite the world tour right now and doing very well. So that's good news. I'm glad to hear that. If there's anything you want to know about my wife and I and our ministry work, go to our website, www.ghost-b-gone.biz. If you go there to visit, there's a lot of cool things to see there. Our new book, the book that I co-authored with Annette Munich, with contributions from some of the leading paranormal authorities in the field, helped out with the book. Help Me, I'm Haunted. Right back here on display. You can get the book a little less expensive at Amazon, but if you get it off of the website, it comes autographed and enclosed in a beautiful house blessing kit. And you never know when one of those is going to come in handy. So I'm happy about the book. I've sent it out to a few people and in the biz that have given me such wonderful feedback about it. And I know Annette's proud of it. She worked very hard on it. And I'm really proud of it. Let me tell you guys something about this book. If you really are passionate about the field of paranormal research and an experiencer, and you're having some issues, especially with being haunted, you'll never look at the paranormal field again the same way after reading this book. So, and I challenge everybody to read the book and reach out to me. Let me know what you think about it. We're very proud of it. There's a lot of other cool things on the website. My online course, Introduction to Spiritual Warfare, is there. You can enroll right in it there at the website. If you want more information about the course before making that type of commitment, reach out to me and we'll talk about it. See if it's the right move for you. There's a place on the website where you can make an appointment to speak with me about your spiritual issues. And most importantly, brothers and sisters, my wife and I, we don't charge for our ministry work, helping people with their paranormal issues. So if you're able to do so and you notice the donate button, click on it and send my ministry in a small donation. I promise you, it'll be appreciated from the bottom of our hearts. And trust me, we'll put it to good use. Anything you purchase off the website, part of the proceeds go to stjude.org and the ASPCA. So you get to help some of the neediest children on the planet and the animals too. How cool is that? All right, brothers and sisters, that's my song and dance, and I'm sticking to it. We have a great show today, but of course, you all already knew that. That's why you tuned in. My guest is in the green room, and I'm so excited to meet her. She seems like a really cool person. But before I bring her out, I'm going to bring out my paranormal partner in crime. I know her. I feels like I've known her forever. I love her and respect her. Super talented woman, a lifelong paranormal experiencer, and the owner of Stellium Books, my publisher. Please give a big, warm paranormal ministry family welcome to Annette Munich. What are you
What a
doing?
beautiful introduction. Thank you so much. So happy to be here. This is going to be an exciting show, and great for our listeners in New Orleans because this is all about their town. So that's perfect.
Absolutely. Like I said, I'm excited to hear about her paranormal life, her paranormal society, her paracon she's got coming up. Hopefully, she's got a good ghost story to tell us. I have a good one. to throw at her if we have time about my experience there in New Orleans about 30 years ago. So yeah, I'm really excited to meet her. Um, the few people I've sent out a copy of the book to, Annette, I wanted to let you know that great feedback. So I'm proud of that. And thank you again for your contribution to help me put that together. And I'm just really happy it's out there and doing well.
I love that. I'm really glad to hear that. What we did was a little bit different. We really did. We put our own twist on it and included articles from some of our viewers' favorite repeat guests that we have that um, have good experience and research in certain areas. So we tried to get the best kind of opinions that we could get on top of what we had to say about it. So I'd say we took our time, but we didn't. We worked at the speed of light. But
We do. I channeled something, and I just, you know me, when I get going on a project, I got to get it done, and something gets in me, and I just. But I'm really proud of it. I'm really excited for the success I know the book's going to have, and it was a no-brainer. I mean, for years, the show's just celebrated its 10-year anniversary,
right,
and I had people sending me all of these messages needing help with different types of paranormal experiences, and I just pulled those out of the mailbag, and you had a brilliant idea to just let's take some of the questions you're asked most about,
right.
address those in the book, and also share some of our own paranormal personal experiences. So it was a no-brainer. So good idea.
I get a star.
You get a star.
I would like a star and a brownie.
You got one. I'll have Sharon
Friends are
make.
tough.
Sharon makes awesome brownies. She doesn't make them so much anymore because I've been on a 2-year diet now, but
Oh,
she will. I'll have her make some brownies and figure out a way to send them to you. So there we go. Are you ready? Do you have anything else you'd like to say before we bring out our very special guest?
I don't. I'm very excited that we're doing this show. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I know that you have some great stories from New Orleans as well. I always wanted to go and I never made it there. I was going to go right before Katrina hit, and then I didn't go, and sort of never kind of presented itself as an opportunity again. But I think my opinion is that that whole city has its own kind of feel to it. Or
Absolutely.
maybe that's me and my mind, but if you're a little bit sensitive, I think New Orleans, instead of saying feel, we can substitute the word flavor.
Very good. Are you ready to bring out our guest?
I am very ready.
Brothers and sisters, I'm meeting her for the first time, and I'm so excited because she just seems like a really cool person, and I'm a little bit jealous of her. To be psychically gifted and an elite paranormal investigator in the city of New Orleans, which happens to be on the top of my list of places I'll relocate to if I ever do move from Vegas. She is a lead investigator with the New Orleans Paranormal Society. She's a gifted psychic medium, a gifted paranormal investigator. They got a big Paracon coming up, the New Orleans Paracon next year, right in the middle of summer. So I'm just excited to bring her on. Everybody, please give a big, warm Paranormal Ministry family welcome to Jennifer Talley.
Hello.
Yay.
Hi. Nice to meet both of you. I'm excited to talk about my city.
You know what? I have to tell you, I got it. A little jealous because I love that city, even though I had a weird experience there about 30 years ago. That anytime I meet somebody, if we have time before the show's over, I'll share it with you. But anytime I meet anybody from New Orleans, I always tell them about that story, and they trip out. They also trip out when I tell them about the night that I spent all night on a live Zoom chat with a guy locked in a shed in the bayou because his family thought he was a Lugaroo.
A
And I,
Rougarou.
yeah, and I sat there with them all night talking to him because they were convinced on this night he was going to transform. And so I'm on this live Zoom call with him all night long talking to him about who knows, we talked about whatever, but I'm waiting for this guy. Some weird things did happen, but he never changed. But the one funny thing I got out of it was I didn't know about this band called I think they're called the Meters, and the guy had every single CD made by this group called the Meters, and they're just such a funky New Orleans jazz funk band from back in
Yeah.
the day, and I fell in love with them, so I went out and got all these CDs by the Meters, and I just love them now. But
Aw.
the first question I'm going to ask you is this:
Okay.
everybody says New Orleans is the most haunted city in America, and I'm not going to argue it. I'm going to give you a chance to give me your thoughts on that. And if you've got a good ghost story you'd like to share with us, go for it.
Oh, I have so many. It's definitely an opinion as far as what's haunted versus what isn't, or how haunted something is. People ask me, I mean, I live in the French Quarter. You can't get any more New
Wow.
Orleans than that, right? Um, eh, People ask me, well, what's haunted? The shorter list is what isn't,
Right.
honestly. Um, you could go anywhere in the quarter, and especially if you're sensitive to that energy, you probably are gonna see something. So, I really do believe, I mean, and we have such a sordid past as a city, is probably the best way I could say it. We embrace differences as far as spiritual practices are concerned. And some people who want to dabble in those things without proper training and mentoring stir some stuff up. And it doesn't go away. They open up some doors that don't get closed, or so I mean there's a lot of stuff around here. But it keeps it interesting for sure. I always warn people who have abilities of whatever kind when they come here. It is palatable when you get here. The weight of the energy, the intensity of the energy here is palatable to the point where I'm used to it here. But when I leave, I feel, and I go somewhere else, I probably feel about 10 pounds lighter.
Wow.
It's very intense. So,
I bet. I remember, forgive me if I forget the name of it. Was it Hurricane Helena? Do I have the name of the hurricane right? You guys
Correct.
had a really bad hurricane quite some years ago where the actual graves had come out of the cemeteries and were floating
oh,
around the city.
Katrina, Katrina.
Katrina, I'm sorry, Helena. What was I thinking of? Katrina, yes. And I remember my phone was like ringing off the hook back then from people experiencing all kinds of like, it's like they opened, it would have made a great movie to just talk about how it seemed like the whole city got engulfed by this paranormal, supernatural bubble, and just trapped everything in there. And everybody that lived in there was just experiencing stuff off the charts. Were you in the French Quarter at that time?
No, I had not even, I had been to New Orleans the year before. I did not live here at the time. Um, but I mean, when you have a tragedy with that much death all at once, it's going to stir that up. I think it's less the unfortunateness of some of the above ground tombs losing their contents. And it's to me more about all of the death all of a sudden. And probably some of those people didn't know what was happening to them.
Yeah. Well,
You
listen,
know,
I'm going, but before I ask you some off the wall, silly questions, which I have to ask because of where you live, um, I have gotten a lot of people reaching out to me this week who are like, have her introduce herself to us and tell us about her because you've got a wonderful website, New Orleans Paranormal Society, a wonderful Facebook page. They've gone to the Paracon page, and they've gone to your personal profile on Facebook, and nobody could find a bio, and so everybody is so interested about you and how you came to be a part of that, the society that you're with, and when did you recognize your psychic gifts and your passion for being a ghost hunter elite? Talk to us about all of that.
Bio, I don't know if you know, it's so hard to write about yourself.
I know. Yeah.
It's like, what do you say? It's, but you know, and especially when you have to write good things, right? It's very difficult. Um, I've always liked the paranormal. I really have. I mean, I started watching the shows with Ghost Hunters and Paranormal State, right? That's when I started. John Zaffis Haunted Collector, like all that stuff. Um, I grew up in a small town in Wisconsin, and it's going to sound so weird. I never felt, I always felt just odd, like different. Um, and I've seen growing up full bodied apparitions appeared to me a few times. And of course, you know, that's the late 70s and early 80s in a small town in Wisconsin. And, you know, there's a Catholic church or a bar on every corner in my city. So when you say those things to your family, they don't take you seriously, you know, especially when you're young. So I guess I just shut it out like, oh, of course it can't. That can't be, you know, I can't be gifted or whatever you want to call it. And it wasn't until I moved to New Orleans about 13, 14 years ago. And in 2017, 2018, I started being a tour guide. And I did history tours and ghost hunt, you know, ghost walking tours. We tell the stories. I did food tours. And I would walk home and I literally felt like this invisible breeze was pushing me home. A couple times even tried to trip me. Then we had some very weird things happen, even to my husband, where there were photographs of him where his entire arm was missing. And what you could see was the car behind his arm. There's no, I mean, we've showed these photos to people. We couldn't find an explanation as to why we saw the car and not him, because he wasn't moving.
Wow.
So I had this thing in my head. I told him, and of course, you know, we'd been together for, I think at that time, you know, 12, 13 years. And I said, I think it's me. He said, no way. I said, no, I really think it's me. I said, I think I'm supposed to be able to see these dead people and talk to them, and I'm not paying attention. So they're messing with you. He thought, no, no, no. So he had a voodoo priestess come to the house to see what was going on with us and me, or did we bring something home? And we started talking, and she said the same thing. She said, it is you. And I had suffered from migraines, what I thought was migraines on the right side of my head. And MRIs, doctors for years and years and years and years could not find an explanation for why I got these just debilitating headaches. And this woman said, who's the short redheaded lady sitting on your right that's related to you? It's my grandmother. And I think as I started working with my gifts, I found she's my guide. And if any of my relatives are watching and know Grandma Roar, you know, she was a bit of a spitfire. She was a full-blooded short check lady. And you know, so she was going to be very persistent. So then this lady told me, find some, you know, you've got to work on your gifts. Well, then it took me another 3 or 4 years to find a mentor. And I know that probably shocks you in the French Quarter of New Orleans, but nobody wanted to help me.
Wow.
And I finally found these two gentlemen, Sam Bowling and Brick Bishop, and they have a metaphysical shop called Hands of Fate. And we started doing sitting circles and said, okay, what is this? What can you do? What are you supposed to do? What are your gifts? And here's the crazy thing about it. It's everything. It's psychometry. It's talking to the dead. It's talking to the living who are non-communicative. It's the smell, the taste, the sight, the hearing, the auras. And I've just started seeing those, but the bad ones. And I guess if you got to start with one, that's the best kind. So it's just been quite a journey of figuring out what it is. I mean, I'm not a person that does readings or anything like that. And I don't feel that for me, that's what I'm meant to do. I think what I'm meant to use these for are the people's on our public hunts that come in that their relatives pop up, or doing our private cases, um, to help with those as well. So I'm a work in progress for sure. Still, I can't control a lick of them. You turn on, I guess they do, but I'm still learning myself.
Very, very cool. Very, very cool.
Sorry, when I
Um,
talk about my grandma, I get a little emotional.
hey, and I could feel that too. I said, "Uh oh, she just brought up grandma. She's gonna get emotional." I'm
Yeah.
the same way when I start. I remember I'm going back a lot of years when I went to a local radio station here in town, and I was doing an interview in the studio, and they had a psychic medium there who didn't know anything about me, and she's staring at me the whole time while I'm doing this interview. Finally, she has to interrupt me. She says, "I just have to, she's going to get upset if I don't interrupt you and say something, but there's a little short woman standing behind you playing with your long hair, and
She's missing
she
out.
loves your hair, and she's so proud of you." Well, the woman she described my mother to a T, who had
Mhm.
just passed away like a year or two before that, and no one I hadn't told anybody at this place about that. So I know how that is. Family, they follow you around for a while, but
Yeah.
it's a good thing, I think.
I mean, she's been a guide for me during the process. I spent some time, maybe about 6, 8 months doing sitting circles and classes. My grandfather on my other side of my family, he's there. He's the colonel. He's always just quietly directive. You can just look at his face. He doesn't say much. So um, it's interesting. They've taught me a lot. You know, they've taught me a lot for sure. Um, it's just been, and then talking to my family finally about it, during a time when we lost someone real dear to us in an accident. Finding out, I kind of figured it was a lineage, and it is. So I found out that some of my relatives, cousins, also have particular gifts as well. And I think it was interesting when I just said, okay, this is family. It comes from grandpa on this side, my grandma on the other side. We all should have it. And it was like the floodgates open. It's like everyone was being so quiet and tight-lipped about it. And then when I was the one to say, okay, some of us should be able to do this stuff, and it was like, oh yeah, I've done it. It was crazy, and it's nice now that we can all talk about it and kind of sound
Absolutely.
you know
And also, a lot of people don't realize that some of the most, I can't think of another word to use other than famous or well known, what have you, uh, people in this field are usually married, and they're married to somebody that totally supports or is even into what they're into. And my wife and I, we were set up on a blind date and we didn't know it. But we realized right away, we were like, we had known each other possibly in a past life, and that
Mhm.
she was a gifted, she doesn't like to say psychic medium, but she's full blown, and had a passion for investigating the paranormal. So we just hit it off. How's your husband? He must be very supportive because you guys look in. I see pictures of you guys. The energy's great. You guys look really in love and supportive of one another. So you must get that from him.
It took some time. It was a bit of a shock to him. No, he didn't, until we got into this. So 2018 was our first ghost hunt. It was a birthday present for me. He went along because it was my birthday, and that's what husbands do, right?
Yeah,
He did not believe in ghosts. He thought the shows were crap. It was all made up. And then we went on that, and there were things that happened. He said, I don't know if he believed, but he couldn't explain it for sure. And then finding out about my gifts, that was, I think it was such a shock to him. It was almost like I was all of a sudden a different person and he didn't know me. That's a lot of information to take in from somebody who grew up Southern Baptist, didn't believe in ghosts, all of these things. It was a whole lot of that piled on his shoulders all at once. Plus, he's skeptical anyway. So it's not been until I'd say the last couple of years that he's finally kind of okay. All right, all right. And it took a little time. I think when I turned on my 50th birthday, he took me to Orlando. I wanted to
Oh
go to
my
Harry
gosh,
Potter so
you're
bad.
not 50.
No, I'm 52.
Oh no, I mean, I
No,
was
I'm not
thinking to
50.
myself, yeah, I'm not trying to be flirtatious with you, but really, I thought you were much younger than that. I was thinking 30.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
sweet. I like you more
Um,
now. So there was
I go ahead. I'm
ticket.
sorry.
There was a ticket guy. We were trying to get our tickets squared away, and he would Chris, my husband, would get a little annoyed with me. I'm like, his mom's standing behind him. There's someone there that she made shrimp and grits, and he had to use bacon, and she won't stop talking to me. And so finally, after this guy got our tickets done, I was like, I'm sorry, sir. Do you have a relative, probably your grandmother? And I kind of described her, who made you shrimp and grits. And she was very adamant you had to put pork in them, bacon or some kind of pork. And his jaw just dropped. Um, but she was one in his life that when he had a bad day, she was always there to give a hug. And that day he was having a bad day. And I said, well, I described her and she was standing behind him, which is weird. I don't see them all the time. And my husband just turned to me and said, I can't, where, where did that even come from? So that, I think that was like one of the, okay, fine. There's no way you could know this at all. So I think it's returned him.
Well, I tend to sometimes I don't even realize I'm doing it, and sometimes I hog the conversation. I know Annette was dying to meet you today and chat with you a little bit, so I'm gonna let you two gals chat for a little bit.
Oh, that was nice.
Aw.
Actually, today I was going to defer to you because you have great stories and I don't about New Orleans. But you're right. You do look fabulous. I would never guess that you're
I
50.
I absolutely I swear. I mean, I'm not.
I would have never guessed it.
I don't lie and I don't flirt, but I really thought you were like
But
30.
you're also kind of luminous.
Am I?
I
Yeah.
Maybe it's the lighting.
think so. But he has a great story about New Orleans that I hope he'll tell about the thing that was following him.
Oh, I
Are you?
can't wait. I've
Well,
been
here I'll
following
make it quick because I don't want the show to be all about me, but I'll get your take on it. You have to, I mean, you have to address the vampire thing, the
him.
werewolf thing, the voodoo thing, and you just have to address that stuff living in New Orleans,
Yeah.
whatever side of the fence you're on. So, yeah, about 30 years ago, I owned my own diamond saw blade company, and I went to New Orleans for 10 days for a concrete convention. I flew in the morning of New Year's Eve, and I stayed for 10 days at a little hotel in the heart of the French Quarter. I can't remember the name of it. First of all, when I walk in there, some lady that didn't work there comes up to me in the lobby as I'm going up to my room and says, young man, whatever you do, don't leave your room and leave hair in your comb. Make sure you put it in a little baggie and take it with you and throw it away somewhere else." And I thought that was the weirdest thing. And when I got up to the room, I asked the person that took me to my room, did she know that lady? And the woman said, "What lady?" I said, "The woman that came up to me and talked to me before we came up here to the room." She goes, "Nobody came up to you. I didn't see anybody come up to you in the lobby." So I was already thoroughly freaked out at that. But I would get done with the convention and I would come back to my room and I would grab my camera. I don't think I had a tape recorder, but I would take my camera and I would venture out into areas, dark, spooky areas of the French Quarter, taking photos, doing a little ghost hunting. I talk to so many people like you that live there now and say, "You're lucky you didn't get robbed or killed. You can't do that today." But I remember I'm walking home and there's this gentleman that's standing across the street in the darkness staring at me. He was so white that he like was glowing, but he was skinny like a POW. And he had like clothes on from like 50 years back. It seemed like his dress. the suit that he had in, he was like, they didn't fit him either. It's like his sleeves were above his wrists, his pant legs were above his ankles. He had these weird old shoes on with no socks. He was wearing no shirt under the sport coat. Just creepy looking person. So I started going back to my hotel room. I turned the corner. There he is, like a block ahead of me, standing in front of another building watching me. I get creeped out. I make another left. I turn down another street to go back to my hotel. There he is again, like another block and a half, 2 blocks ahead of me on the side of the street, just watching me. I got this guy followed me all the way back to my hotel room. I got really freaked out by that. And it's good this happened near the end of my visit because I didn't go back out venturing around the French Quarter at night for like the next 2 or 3 nights before I left to come back home. So somebody said to me, well, it was probably a vampire. I think they were halfway joking, but they were from there. And they gave me this look like, you know, not to not believe in stuff when you're here because you just never know. So you living there, being a psychic medium, being a paranormal investigator, what do you think about that? Do you think it was just a ghost, a weird homeless person, or a vampire?
I mean, there are practicing vampires here. I'm friends with a few. It's definitely not Hollywood, the way Hollywood portrays them. I would say for me, it would probably just be you could have been seeing just someone who was passed. I wouldn't say vampire necessarily. I mean, psychic vampire maybe if you felt drained of energy, but certainly the hair is interesting. So that seems like it relates more to somebody who was who had passed that was more like a voodoo or witchcraft practitioner that would use hair. Not always for bad things. I mean, you can do a voodoo doll of yourself and put your own hair in it and use it to help with ailments or luck or anything like that. So, I think you had a few things that came up to you. Most definitely. I really feel like the lady with the hair was voodoo.
Yeah, that
That,
was weird. That
that
was
whole
weird.
story just gives me chills. And also, like, my thing with New Orleans is that one of my favorite writers was Anne Rice.
Yeah.
And the way that she could write and bring things to life, I always wanted to kind of see it through her eyes. And then again, she's talking about vampires. And this is our first vampire show now that we're talking about vampires. There are people that think that they do really exist, but again, like you said, not like the Hollywood version. But
Hmm.
this guy, he sees him over here. Then he goes around the corner and he's ahead of him and he thinks he's trying to ditch him and goes this way. And there he is ahead of him. So
Yeah.
that's some kind of, that's not human. But you do hear about that with like vampires that super speed. Um, it's just kind of, it's either a vampire. Ghosts don't usually do all that.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
an
didn't get
interdimensional.
that's what freaked me out because I didn't. I usually get I refer to them as my spidey senses. When I'm in the presence of spirit, I get a completely different feel, and I didn't get that from this entity at all.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was freaky. And then definitely it didn't help that the room I was in was also haunted. I mean, I had to wake up just about every night at least twice to go turn the water off in the bathroom. There was no AC in this room, so I was mad about that. Good thing it was the time of year it was kind of cool, so I could open up my window a little bit and let some fresh air in. But it was just really weird. If I shut the window, I would wake up and somebody had opened it. If I left it open, I would wake up and somebody had shut it. It was just, yeah, the French Quarter, man. I'm telling you.
You have all that and all the stories about the hauntings, and there's so many, and the history, the vampires, and the voodoo stuff. And
Hmm.
like, there's like a dark romance about the whole thing. Like, you open your window at night and you hear the saxophone. Somebody's out there, it just, Yeah, it's like a dark, romantic, enticing, alternative universe. Now I've gone too far. I should leave all that to Anne Rice.
Well, I'll share another interesting thing for some of you single men. Gonna go and spend some time in the French Quarter. I mean, we're talking 30 years ago, so this was quite some time before I met my wife, and she already knows the story, so she'll get a laugh out of it. You got to be careful down there. Like, I'm relatively naive person. I've seen a lot, experienced a lot. I never say never, and I never doubt anybody's word because I've seen enough crazy stuff to know I haven't seen it all. And I'm not an expert in anything. But I met I met someone who I was thoroughly convinced the whole time until something happened and I realized, oh my God, you got to be kidding me. I met somebody that I was 100% sure was a woman, and then, and it turned out not to be.
Okay.
So you got to be careful about that down there too, and I learned that the hard way.
Yeah.
So yeah, so New Orleans, uh, just they it leaves you leave there, and it leaves some type of residue on you, and something about that place, not that incident, but something about that place keeps drawing me back, and I want to just um, I hope I talked to my wife about this last night. I hope somehow I don't travel well and I hardly go anywhere, but I would love to come out there for your Paracon that's coming up because that looks absolutely amazing. And
I know.
I don't want to run out of time without you having an opportunity to
Oh,
share about that. So tell us all about this Paracon and the New Orleans Paranormal Society and all that.
so we are putting on the first ever Paracon in the French Quarter in New Orleans, July 31st through August 2nd of 2026. And it's at the Astor Crown Plaza in New Orleans. And the basis of the Paracon has come from my husband and my experience doing our public ghost hunts since 2021 and doing special events with people like Dale and Spratt and seeing and talking to the groups that come to these things. There is a thirst for education. There is a
Oh,
need
I
for,
know who Dalen is.
yeah, Ghost Brothers. He's
Yeah,
a
yeah,
dog.
yeah.
He's a
Okay.
dog. Um, there's a thirst and a need for education and proper education. A lot of people with gifts, especially, um, they don't have a mentor. They don't know where to find them. They don't know which internet personality to trust. All these things, and then we have just all of the stories about New Orleans that need to be told the right way. And so we thought, let's do it that way. We do have a fantastic lineup. I'm real proud of everyone that's agreed to participate. I wish we had room for more. There's so many more people we'd love to have, but I guess that means year two. But
Yeah.
we've got John Zaffis is coming. We're so excited about him. I'm going to fangirl probably, but he doesn't get out from the East Coast very often. All four members of the Warren Society are coming. We've got Father Bob Bailey, Father Ken Torres, Bill Slevin, Joe Frankie. So we're very excited.
Not
This
to interrupt, but Father Ken Torres is in our book, our brand new book.
is
He wrote
he
a great chapter for us. It is just
great.
eye opening. It is a really fabulous perspective. So,
Yeah,
since you mentioned that, yeah.
he's great, and he and Father Bob are going to be teaching some classes. So are Joe and Bill. And then we've got Patty Negri. How can you not love that white light of a woman, right? We've got one of my dear friends, and I can't wait for people to get to know her. Her name is Angel Morgan. She is going to be teaching pet communication, which I think is going to be fabulous.
That's going to be awesome.
Sam Baltrusis, Letriana Terry Brown, Brandon Cooper, who's listening here. Um, Geez, please tell me I'm not forgetting anyone. I hope not. And we're also going to have a local shop called Voodoo Authentica. It is our go-to place here in the quarter for all things voodoo. They're going to be doing voodoo panels every day. what should you know about the reality of voodoo. And we're also going to both days have a vampire panel. What do you want to know about vampires? And hopefully there is a historian we do want to line up here that will talk about the legends and how our lack of understanding of disease transfer brought up or was the birth of why we think that, the way that Hollywood portrays vampires, why it exists. So it's going to be great. Chris and I will be there, popping in here and there, talking about different experiences we've had. And we've got some great ghost hunts lined up. The Andrew Jackson Hotel, which is, if not the haunted, it is at the top 5 list of the most haunted place in the quarter. We'll have another voodoo priestess's property we'll be taking people to. We're teaming up with Haunted History Tours. They're going to be offering, as part of this, a cemetery ghost hunt for people. We've got a Weekend with Patty Negri package. You can spend the whole weekend with her and go to all of her classes. So, and we've really tried to make this affordable. So the packages start at $300 for 2 people, not per person. That's the RIP, and they go all the way up to, if you want to do everything and everything's included, to $1,500 for 2 people. It's not per person.
Cool.
So it's very affordable. We're signing vendors. Our vendor packages start at $500 for 2 people. That's your hotel room. That's your booth, right? That's your general admission classes, and then you can add on the paid classes. You can add on the ghost hunts. And we've got Afterpay enabled. So we're really, really, really doing our best to try to make this affordable for people to come visit our city. Let us show you the reality of our city, and let's teach you some proper techniques for investigation, and let you learn about these things.
Absolutely. Give the dates again, and if someone just comes out not for the Paracon and they're looking to take your tour, how do they go about doing that?
So for the Paracon, it's July 31st through August 2nd, 2026. The website is neworleansparacon.com. You can go out.
Dress for summer, I would imagine.
I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, dress for summer. Well, we also tried to make everything as much inside. There's restaurants that are close. There's restaurants attached. So that way people don't have to be walking all over during the day, and kept the hunts at night when it's going to be a little cooler. And then we do offer public hunts every night. We do 2 of 6. We have access to 6 locations in the French Quarter exclusively, and we pick 2 every night. And that's NewOrleansParanormalSociety.com. So you can come take our ghost hunts with us. We have some crazy techniques. I promise you, you probably have never met a paranormal group like us that does what we do to help elicit responses from spirits. They don't have to talk to us, right? They don't. And so we try to make it fun. We do operate in a way where if we have a spirit that needs help crossing over, then we do that too. We're never going to run out of dead people to talk to, right? Yeah. So it's a blast. I just did one last night. My husband's doing tonight, and we play cards, we play blackjack, we play poker, we play music for them. We play Would You Rather, rock, paper, scissors. I've got Mad Libs. I mean, this is all stuff that we found that if you're traditional, who's here, who wants to talk to us, etc., doesn't work. You know what? Let's treat them like a party and let's have fun. And we found it works.
Yeah.
When we're having fun, our energy is fun. So then a lot of the people that have passed that are in the area, they want to come see what's so fun. And then we make them a part of it. We have ways to help make them a part of it. So it's been working real well. So, and I have some clips if you want to see.
Absolutely. Absolutely,
So,
please.
okay, let me find this
Because
one. Okay.
I find some of the best tours that I've been on, and I've been on a few around the country. I've gone on some where the people have been giving them for many, many years, and they've have a personal relationship with some of the spirits and some of the locations. So I've always preached respect the location, respect the spirits.
Yep.
And some of these tours we've gone in, I've already paid my money. We go to this location, and the woman leading the or the man leading the will ask for permission, and sometimes they won't be given permission, and they'll turn to us and say, listen, we're going to go on to the next site because they don't want us here tonight. And I'm like, cool, because if they don't want us here, I don't want to be here either. So
Yeah.
then we go on to the next location. But that same some of those same tours, you go on a different night, this person asks for permission, and they'll get a smile on their face and say they're in a good mood tonight, they're welcoming us to come
Yeah.
on in, and we go on in. And that, you're right, that makes a big difference.
It does. And we always say, listen, the spirits that are here, we have a few locations that we have that would be house spirits. Some of our locations don't have any. They're very transient. But we always say, listen, house spirits, if you're here and you want to talk, great, talk. If not, could you do us a favor, please, and help some of the family members of the living that have come here, maybe work this equipment and let them talk? And that happens too. And yeah,
Yeah.
and we always thank them. We understand you do not have to talk to us, and you may not want to, and we always appreciate it when you participate with us and talk. Always respect. We've caught a couple people provoking. That's not tolerated at all. No provoking, no disrespect, um, because we are in their space too. We're guests in these spaces. So yeah, and then you get the fun aspect. Who says you have to be scared on a ghost hunt? Why can't you laugh? Where's that? There's no rule about it. That's just my opinion. I'll show you. This is the first time I tried playing. I'll see if I can get this up. Share screen. This is the first time that I tried to play blackjack. Let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
With the spirits, and I'm using an MCOM from Supernatural Inc.
And we have to add it to the
Oh,
screen.
do I have to press on?
Yeah, wait, I pressed it. Here we go.
Let me know. So what we're doing is we're using the MCOM and a K2 meter here. And if they want another card there to say hit me or blink the K2 meter twice when playing blackjack, or if they want to stay, they blink the K2 meter once or say stay. So that was how we set this up. So
the Joker.
Joker? Yeah, I was gonna say probably not a good thing.
One card up to him, one card down to you, one card up to him, one card up to you.
Ooh. Okay, so twice to hit, once to stay.
Stay. Did you hear that? No. Are you sure?
Are you sure? That's a 7 versus a 10.
So hit me means another card.
Okay, that's twice. I think that's another card, right? Oh, 17. Ooh, that's hard. Would you like to hit or would you like to stay?
I stay.
I stay.
Oh, good call. Good call.
I'm afraid.
18. Unfortunately, you lose. I'm sorry.
Oh, he's gonna take his money. Just one.
Oh, just one?
One.
All right, there you go. Did not mean to steal from you.
So you gotta put one into play.
One into play. All right, so one up, one down, one down.
So they have a 6 and a 3 in this hand.
All right, so twice to hit, once to stay. Aye.
It said 9 and it had 9.
You had 9.
Oh,
They
you
said
want to get to 21.
You need to get to 21. Would you,
Pass?
So hit, remind him, hit me means another card.
so hit is another card. Would you like another card? There we go. That is a good hand. Would you like to stay? No more cards? Yep, there we go. Okay. Well,
I just got chills, dude.
let's see what we get. That's 21. I'm sorry.
Do you want any dealer?
So
That's
that,
funny.
I mean, that was just crazy. I mean, did you hear I Stay?
I know, I did, and that was just funny. But the ghost couldn't get a winning hand.
Oh, that's
That's
why I
funny.
said at the end, do you want a new dealer? After that, we saw the K2 meter go nuts, so we kind of took it as yes, they wanted they want a new dealer.
No cheating in the spirit world. They couldn't even see. They couldn't see the cards, you know. So that was
Oh no,
very
but
cool.
they do. They do. We have had them hit
Oh,
launch
really?
on hands that they have like 17, right? Are you sure you want to hit? And we'll hear the number 4. And by gosh, if the next card we turn over isn't a 4.
Wow.
We did this out in San Francisco with Father Ken and Father Bob at their Nautical Nightmares. And I was sitting at a table with Father Bob and a couple other people doing the same thing. And I had my down card and they were recording. I couldn't. And I pointed at the down card and I said, spirits, I just want to know, can you see through this? You know, how do you see? I don't know how you see. Do you all see the same? Do you see different? Can you tell me what this card is underneath that's face down? And everybody heard Jack. Turned it up. And it was a Jack.
Wow.
So,
That's very,
yes,
very cool. That is fun.
I keep telling them next time I'm in Vegas, come with me. We'll split the profits. Help me out. Help the sister out.
Well, listen, what I'm going to ask you now before we've just got a few minutes left. Did you have fun? Will you come back?
Absolutely. I'd be
Because
honored.
I knew before even this show today that an hour wasn't going to be enough with you. So I'd love to have you back. But before we leave, I would have to say the majority of the people that reach out to me for help right now are ghost hunters and ghostbusters and paranormal investigators because they're not trained well and they go out, they find themselves at the wrong place at the wrong time, saying and doing the wrong thing. They end up with these attachments and then the whole team has issues. Give your best, do what you really need to do to have a successful paranormal team, and then give us a big don't for all those out there that may not really know proper paranormal investigating etiquette.
Oh, great question.
Okay. Do have a cleansing ritual and protection ritual before and after, whatever that means to you. You need something. You need something to protect you before, and you need something to clear you off after. Be self-aware. Don't be in your ego. Understand your moods, because if you start not feeling like yourself, you need help. Don't be the tough person. If it doesn't feel right, get out, right? There's a fine line between bravery and stupidity, right? Don't provoke. Do not provoke. And understand where you're at. What would be in that area? We've had people here that think that energies are one thing when they're quite another. They thought that these little energies were imps and demons when they weren't. They were voodoo loa. Now you wouldn't maybe know that unless you had contacts and education like we would, but they all made them mad. And then we had to go in and fix it with that person, and they were mortified. They're very, very lovely person, mortified when they found out what it really was. Just like, oh, they're like, oh my gosh, I did not mean to offend. But understand, there are things you are not going to understand based on where you are. You go out to these places that do ghost hunts over and over and over, and all these groups come in. You better be careful, because you don't know what the people before you did, tried to stir up, and you might be the person walking in that's going to get the repercussions for it, for sure. So find proper techniques. Please put your cell phones on airplane mode. Your K2 meter's not going off because it's paranormal if your cell phone's anywhere near to it. We've seen that happen a few
Oh.
times.
Good advice. That's very good advice.
But debunk too, come on, let's.
Yeah.
We all are very excited and want that adrenaline rush and get a clear proof of evidence. But, let logic play out a little bit longer than you.
Well, Jennifer, before we get cut off here, I'm going to have to kick you out of here. And but I love you. I respect you. I think you're super cool. I wish you and your team all the best. Wish the Paracon the very best.
Thank you.
And maybe I might surprise you and show up. But thank you so much for being here today. And have a wonderful, wonderful remainder to your Friday evening there in the French Quarter. And I will talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you so much. Lovely to meet both of you.
Thanks, Jennifer. Great
See you
meeting
later.
you. Great show. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Jennifer Talley. All right, woman. Who we got next week? I'm definitely having Jennifer back for sure. And,
Yeah, I was going to ask about, is that the city cemetery #1 or something where Marie Laveau is buried? And if I have that right, city cemetery, do I have that right?
I'll leave myself a note to let you talk with her more next time. Next Friday, the 21st, November 21st, we've got the one and only Rick Garner here.
Rick Garner. You were supposed to ask because I always guess Rick Garner.
All right, you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all you do. Couldn't do it without you. You have a wonderful remainder to your Friday evening and your weekend. And I'll see you. I'll talk to you before then, but I'll see you next Friday.
Thank you, and I'm wishing all of our listeners a great weekend.
Annette Munich, Stellium Books. All right, brothers and sisters, that was a great show. Thank you to Jennifer Talley of New Orleans Paranormal Society. Thank you to Annette Munich, owner of Stellium Books, my paranormal partner in crime. I promise, guys, I will have Jennifer back. I'm glad she had some fun. She's super cool person. Thank you all for tuning in because I know I don't have a show without you guys, and I mean that. So thank you all. Thank you to the United Public Radio Network for carrying my show, Michelle DeRoche, Joe Montaldo. God bless them both. Stay tuned for Spirit Switchboard with Carrie Lynn Shellhorn. That's a great show. And I pray for all of you. You're all on the prayer list. So remember, brothers and sisters, we may have done what the devil said we did, but we are not who the devil says we are. Good night, Danny. Good night, Jack. Good night, Dog. Good night, Harold. Rest in peace. Good night, Ernie. Good night, Bill. Good night, Dan. I love you all. God bless you all. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Peace.